Hello everyone, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. It's been a long time, it's been about 4 months. I tend to do this the last couple of years, probably since 2019. I've kind of gung-ho stitched for the first 8 or so months of the year, and then come August I kind of peter out a little bit and take a few months of break, and then I always come back to it, usually in December or January. This year I picked it back up in January, and I've been stitching pretty consistently for the month. So I thought, well, I'll do a kind of a little bit of a mini catch-up video showing some of the things that I've got done. I'm not going to go all the way back and because there hasn't been much, but I'll kind of just show what I've been doing recently, some haul that I just got this week, and some Christmas, a little bit of Christmas, and just generally catch up, and then get going for 2022, which is tomorrow. Today is New Year's Eve. I don't know if I'll post this today or tomorrow, but either way, Happy New Year to everybody. Things have been going pretty well here. Still work from home. We're trying to work towards getting back into the office on a hybrid schedule, but we'll see what happens. Everything's a little bit crazy right now, so it may not happen right away, but working towards that. Otherwise, just staying safe, staying at home. I live in Pacific Northwest, and we have been hit with major snow and cold weather this week, and I have probably about 15 or 16 inches of snow on the ground here at my house, which is abnormal. It's but it's nice. I spent the week shoveling snow out of my driveway multiple times. It's finally going to warm up tomorrow. Today's going to be a little bit warmer than it had been, and then tomorrow I'll be back to like normal mid to high 30s, which is good for this time of year. It had been down as low as 3.5 degrees before wind chill earlier this week, and I had lost power at the beginning of the cold snap for about 9 hours one night, and the house got a little chilly, let's just put it that way. So I've been trying to keep my fingers crossed there's no frozen pipes. Everything seems to be fine, good to go. Luckily, I'm in a fairly new house, 2 years old, so I think it's fairly well insulated and had zero issues other than the power. But yeah, other than that, it did make me decide to get a generator installed for switchover power, and so that will be the first thing to do on my spring list. I live about 30-ish miles from town, so in an area where the power could potentially be out for a day or two if it came to it due to weather or whatever the case may be. So, and my entire house runs on electricity. I have no gas, anything. So if I have no electricity and it's super cold, it's going to be a problem. So generator, here I come. Other than that, I spent a couple weeks before Christmas with my parents. They have since traveled to Southern California for the winter, to warmer weather. They beat the cold and the real cold and the snow, so good for them. And so I had a quiet Christmas here. It was nice to be at home and just not do much, and kind of go through and figure out where I'm at with my stitching, where I'm at with my stash, and make some plans for 2022. So other than that, things are going well. So let's get into some stitching. I'm going to start with some haul. I did get some haul this week. I got 2 packages in the mail this week. One was I put an order in because I hadn't bought anything. I participated in a couple of retreats this fall, 2 or 3 retreats this fall, so I have those items, but I hadn't bought anything. I didn't buy anything from the fall market that they had, and hadn't really followed much, so there was a lot that I didn't end up ordering, and so I put an order in, and I actually limited myself because there was about double this order that I could have put in, but I didn't. So I ordered these items from Dream at Needlecraft Corner in Maryland. So for those of you familiar, I got the snowball. designs by Brenda Gervais. There's 7 different little pillows in there. And this particular chart I ordered with the called for fabric, which is 36 count Patriots Brew. So yeah, I have the fabric. No threads, but I'll either use my stash or order later. The next one I got was Plum Street Samplers Mount Vernon Christmas. I just adored this. So I got this. The nice thing that Dreama does is she provides everything in kits if you want. You can buy everything separate. Like if I just wanted the chart, I could just buy the chart from her, of course, but she'll kit everything up. So in this case, she kitted it with the fibers, called for fibers, the called for fabric. And then I had her, she gave the option of throwing in the Lady Dot crates. I think this case it's Rick Rack. Yeah, it's Rick Rack. So I have everything I need to make that pillow when I'm done stitching with it. And I just love this. I love the trees. I love the little snowman on top. Snowman will get me almost every time though. And then I ordered this from Erica Michaels, Mermaid Crossing. I adored this. I love the colors. I loved everything about it. And again, called for fabric enough to do all the designs in the chart, and then the called for fibers as well. So it looks like there's weeks and DMC in this one. So, and then I got a couple of, I got a box from Brandy at Be Stitch Me this week as well. I ended up doing her winter box, but I only did the fabric and fiber option. I didn't do the full boxes, just the fabric and fiber, which I love her fabric and her fiber. So there's quite a bit of fiber in here. So this is crumble. I don't know how good, the lighting's pretty good, so I'm hoping this is pretty accurate. Slate, cocoa, hot cocoa, so that's a variegated, and fudge. Winter blues, oh no, I'll skip that one for now. Poinsettia, it's a really good red. Chili, it's another variegated. Princess, another variegated. And then Evergreen, another variegated. Now all of those were 10 yards. These are 10-yard skeins. This one is called Winter Blues and it's 50 yards. So that's our fibers from the winter box, which are lovely. And then in that box, I think I paid $125, $130, I don't know, something like that. So 150-yard skein of fibers of silks. These are silks. Excuse me. 5, 6, 7, and then 8 skeins of 10 yards. So 9 skeins of silk, complete silks there. And then I got 5 fabrics, and I chose to substitute out for 40 count Verdal. So all of these are 40 count Verdal. So this first one is called Yule Wreath. And then Glacier. And Winter Wonderland. So this is kind of a purpley, lavendery color. Old Man Winter. This is what it feels like around my house this week, except for today's the sun is shining, so that's good. And then Hot Cocoa, more of a neutral brown tan. So I just think this is her box. If you get just the fabric and fiber, it's just a really nice deal. I don't know, $125 for 5 cuts of their fat quarter 18 by 27 inches. And so 5 cuts of that, and then 9 skeins of fiber, one of which is a 50 yarder. So I think that's a great deal. If you want all the extras, I did get her Halloween box too earlier. And on that one, I did order the full box, and the value was a really good value on that too. But I just realized that I wanted the fabric and fiber. So for the winter box, I did just that. So anyway, if you haven't tried her fabric, I definitely recommend it. And then I got 2 stitching gifts this year as well. This one is Polar Pack from Plum Street Samplers. And I've not done any of her animal stacks yet. There's some of them that are super cute. I just hadn't seen any that really like called to me, but polar bears and like that banding at the bottom. Ugh. So this was actually ordered from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner as well. So it came with the called for fabric, called for fibers. So it looks like there's Weeks, Color Cotton, Colorworks, Classic Colorworks, excuse me, and then DMC, and then also with the Lady Dot Crates trim to finish it as shown. So this was from Melissa, Stitcher Mel, on YouTube and Instagram. So thank you. And then my mom got me this blackbird chart for Christmas. Again, snowmen, the people closest to me understand this is my thing. So what's this called? Frosty's Night Out. So super cute blackbird designs. So that's for my mother. So that's, for the most part, my new haul in the last few months. Like I said, there was a couple of retreats, 3 retreats that I did. But yeah, that's all I'm going to show because everything else is put away. So I did have a couple of finishes to talk about. The first one was for one of the retreats. I did Friend Stitch in September. And so there was a sampler, a little sampler, Friend Stitch sampler that they sent out ahead of time. And they did the finishing of this during the class, which I didn't do. But they sent the finishing kit. So I have it. And in the next couple weeks, my goal is to finish it. This is just done on Vintage Country Mocha. Super cute. And it's going to be finished on one of this board that I don't remember who they had make it, but it's just this little board, and then it's got some Lady Dot Crate trim. So anyway, so yeah, so that will be a really cute little stand-up piece for finishing, and really like how that turned out. So, and then the other finish that I had, I actually just started this in December while I was away with my parents and finished it. I stitched on it for 10 nights total. Double fisting drinks. I got water here, I got Starbucks here, I can't decide. Anyway, yeah, I started this in December. I stitched on it for 10 nights and got it finished. It was a pretty quick stitch for the most part. A lot of tedious stitching because there's a lot of color changes, but it's gorgeous. And this one is Needle in Hand by where is it? Hello from Les Matthews. This is exclusive. This was part of the Acorns 25th anniversary retreat in June. This is what we got in our kit, and so it's exclusive to Acorns and Threads. I don't know if you can still get it or not, but that if it's still available, it's at Acorns. So everything was provided. The fabric was 32 count bisque linen from Color and Cotton, and then it was a DMC. And she called for it to be stitched 2 threads over 2, but I prefer the look of 1 thread over 2 on 36 and higher, so I just did that. So this is what mine looks like. It's on the lighter side because I just did that one over, or the 1 thread, but I really like the way it turned out. It's really pretty, and that frame was from Michael's, and so I did get the frame. So another finish that can be had. So I will frame it at some point in that really cool frame. And yeah, so anyway, so that was just a December finish. So, and that's pretty much it for this fall, quite frankly. So pretty sad little stitching fall, but that's okay. I finished this year, 2021, with 17 finishes, which is pretty good. Last year I had 19 and I was bummed that I didn't get 20. And so this year I thought, well, maybe I'll try for 21, but that's okay. That's what happens when you slack off for 4 months of the year, or 3 months at least. So maybe for 2022, I'll get 22 finishes. We'll see. Depends. No promises. So let's see, what do I want to talk about next? I am going to do a new year, new start. Melissa Stitcher Mel and I do one almost every year, if not every year. And so I'm going to do, I think, I still have till tomorrow to decide, or midnight if I stay up, which is unlikely, but I ended up getting this over the summer. It's What Remains is Love. It's the 20th anniversary of Traditional Stitches in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And this is a Blackbird Designs exclusive to that shop. And they did several rounds. I know, I've seen it all over Instagram. So they did several rounds of ordering of this, and I ended up, I think, in the last round. But this came fully kitted. It came with 36 count straw, weeks, fabric, and the fibers to do it. So I may start it tonight or at midnight or tomorrow, most likely. We'll see. I reserve the right. I have plenty of kitted things that are ready to go at a moment's notice, so I may change my mind. We'll see. I have today to figure it out, but there will be a new start tomorrow for the new year. And then other than that, I think we'll roll into kind of a WIP parade. I don't have very many WIPs. I finished quite a lot of WIPs this year. I have 6 WIPs. That's it. That's all I've got, which is great. And there's at least 3 of them that I really want to be done with. So that's what my focus is going to be on for moving into 2022. And I'll talk about my plans later, but I'll do a WIP parade real quick, and then we'll talk about 2022 plans. So my first WIP, Halloween Quaker by Leela's Studio. So I started this in 2021, so it's not like it's an old WIP by any means. It is, let me see, I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I started on February 13th, so I've had it just going less than a year. And I was only stitching on it. Michelle Bindi Stitchy was doing a Quaker style, a zoom style, and I kind of petered out towards the end of the year. Everybody got a little bit busy, I think, and so I was only stitching on it during those days when we did those. I stitched on it in December a little bit for probably 2 or 3 days, and this is how far I am. So I've got kind of that upper, I feel like I'm about 25% done. I've got that upper left corner done. And so I've got, that looks pretty good though. There's a lot of different counting errors in it, not in the motifs themselves, but just in spacing and stuff. But this is 40 count murky by Picture This Plus, which is great. But I just, some countings are off, but it's working out. Like I said, the motifs are not counted wrong. It's just spacing in some areas. So I'm gonna focus on this, and when I talk about 2022 plans, I'll tell you how that's gonna work out. The next one I have is Snow Village by Country Cottage, and I started this in June of 2021, so I just started it 6 months ago or so. And I am doing this on 32 count Petty Point blue and white Lugana. I started it with the idea that I would do a chart every month. There's 11 charts with one of them being kind of a double chart. So 11 charts, but really the size of 12 of the little charts. And I did 3. I did June, July, and August. And then I stopped. So those are the 3 that I have done. I really love the way it looks though on this Petty Point fabric. So my goal this year is to finish the other 8 charts. This one I had started a while ago, years ago, and I ended up pulling everything out and starting again. I restarted this in July. And the reason that I did was because I was really struggling with stitching on it because of the fabric. And I'm doing Lizzie Kate's Boo Club Flippets, but I'm doing it on this banding. It's 24 count orange and tangerine banding. I saw this stitched this way at Acorns and Threads as a finish, and I loved it. And they had the banding, so I got it. But the banding is 24 count. And so I was really struggling with how to stitch this with the right tension, how much the coverage is, that kind of thing. And so I ended up, like I said, I pulled what I had out, which wasn't much because I really disliked it. And then I ended up starting it again and found a better way to kind of get it held and everything. And I got the first chart done. And I'm really, really happy with the way it looks. So part of the other problem was that it wasn't centered right. It was off one stitch, which doesn't seem like much, but I could see it and it bothered me. So I started again. So here we are. Anyway, so my goal this year is to get these done. And you know, these little Lizzie Kate Flip It charts usually only take me like 2 days max, 2 nights of stitching max. So, you know, a few hours, maybe if I stitch 2 or 3 hours each night for 2 nights, I can get these done. So, you know, and there's what, 12 maybe, 10 or 12 in this series. So it won't take a long time. I just got to do it. So anyway, I'll be happy when this is done. It'll look nice. So that's my third WIP. Knee High. This was a new year, new start for me in 2020. So it is currently my oldest WIP, and it's by hands-on, of course, and I still have only done this much on it. This is on 28 count, picture this plus Ale Lugana. So again, priority to get this done. I love this chart. I love this chart. So yeah, goal to get that done. And then my newest, oh wait, one more. This one I've had in theory started for a while, but barely. And so I'm kind of counting it as a restart this year for 2022 because there's been zero progress on it, and it literally probably 30 minutes worth of work at most. But this year I am going to do the One Nation Sal that people have been doing for the last couple of years. So Bygone Stitches, One Nation. I'm going to do one state, one star a month, or no, a week, excuse me, all year. So I've got her in a scroll frame. And like I said, you can see my Christmas tree lights through that, and that's funny. That is the little bitty start that I've had on this for, I don't know how many years, And so this year is going to be a priority to get that done by doing the one state, one star every week. I am doing this on the called for fabric, so it's on 28 count Ale casual linen. And I'm doing it in DMC. I'm not doing it with the crescent colors called for, and I'm not even doing it with the DMC conversion called for other than a crew. I am using a crew, but for the red, I'm using 115, which is that variegated red. And then for the blue, I'm using 930. So those are the colors that I've chosen to use. And then the last WIP that I have is a new WIP that I just started on Christmas Day. Melissa and I, Stitch Mel, are doing I think we're doing hashtag BFF Stocking Sal. BFF Stocking Sal, yeah. And so you can follow along on Instagram if you want. So we started on Christmas Day. We both started full coverage stockings. And I started doing, it's called Stocking Christmas Farm. It's a HAID chart, and I'll put I don't have it printed out because I don't have a color printer, but I'll put something right up here so you can see what it looks like. And I do have a start on it. I stitched on it a couple nights. I'm doing diagonals. I'm using Pattern Keeper. So that is my teeny tiny little start on my Christmas stocking full coverage piece. So anyway, it's really pretty, and I'm excited. We did realize that my stocking is about 3 times as many stitches as hers, but she's not doing a HAID, she's doing another company, I can't remember, but anyway, that's okay. It'll look really nice when it's done, and I'm excited. I'm doing 2 threads. This is 28 count Easy Grid Lugana, and I'm doing 2 threads 10 stitch. So I'm not doing full crosses. I'm just doing 10 stitch on this. So, which the coverage on this 28 count is really good because I'm using 2 threads. So, but doing 10 stitch. I had started, the reason I kind of halted was because I had started doing cross country and then parking. That wasn't working out very well for me. So I finished all of my parked threads to get them out of my way. And now I'm going to pick up doing more traditional cross stitching on it. I will probably do cross country within the diagonal, but when I'm done, I will finish the thread and then go to the next color. So, okay, so that's all my WIPs. So 6, I have 6 whole WIPs, and you've seen them now. So not bad. Hoping to get most of them done this year, or in 2022 anyway. So the way that I'm going to do that is I've got plans. So I'm going to do Halloween stitching, dark 13, is that what they call it? Dark 13 stitching. So I'm going to do a couple of things though. On the 13th of every month, and in any month that has the 31st, I'm going to do Halloween stitching. But on that, I'm only going to stitch on the Boo Club, on the Lizzie Kate piece. So at least 1 day a month, and some days 2 days a month, I'll stitch on the on that banding. I'm going to do the One Nation Sal, which if I keep up with it by the end of the year, that piece will be completed as well. And then I'm going to do WIPGO. And I've never participated in WIPGO. This will be my first year. So I'm going to put my board right here so you can see. So my focus for WIPGO is going to be Knee High, Halloween Quaker, Snow Village, and then the HAID stocking. So there's 25 squares. One's the free square. I put Knee High on there 3 times because my goals on these are 3 days, to stitch on it 3 days. I'm not counting stitches. I'm not gonna count hours or anything like that. I'm just gonna do days. So my goal for each number called is 3 days. So when I look at Knee High, I put 3 blocks for Knee High on my WIPGO because I think 9 days of 9 days of stitching, I should be able to easily get that done. So I put that in there for 3 days. For Halloween Quaker, I split the rest of my chart that needs to be stitched. I separated it into 5 different quadrants, and therefore I put 5 different squares on my WIPGO board. So that one I'm not doing a number of days. For the Halloween Quaker squares, I'm doing that section. So whether that section takes me a couple days or whether it takes me a week, it'll probably take me closer to a week because there's usually about 4 motifs in each of those segments. So it'll just depend on what motifs are in that segment, how long it takes me, but that's how I'm going to do that. So by the end of WIPGO, Halloween Quaker should be complete. I put 9 squares on for Snow Village because even though I only have 8 charts left, the one is the double chart, so I'm counting that as 2 charts. So I'm saying that there's 9 charts left. So each square for the Snow Village represents one chart. So when I get to the double chart, I'll just do half, and then I'll move on and count that as good. So by the end of WIPGO, Snow Village should be done. And then the Hayed stocking, I put 5 times. No. Yeah, I put 5 times for Hayed. And I think I just am doing 3 days for that. Oh, here I can look. I have my WIPGO board up. Oh, for my Hayed, I did 5 days. So for the Hayed stocking, I did 5 days, which is fine. And so no goal other than just stitch on it for 5 days in that month, which I think is a pretty actually reasonable goal. And then that left me with 2 squares other than the free square. And I labeled those as new starts. I may change those. We'll see. But I don't have any other WIPs that aren't accounted for at this point. So that's why I labeled them new starts. So we'll see if I end up starting something new just because, and maybe I'll slide that into those 2 squares. We'll see. But my real goal with WIPGO is to get Knee High, Halloween Quaker, Snow Village done, and then get a good amount of stitching in on my Hayed stocking. So that's my WIPGO goal. And like I said, I'll put that up there. The only other plan that I have right now for 2022, other than everything I've already laid out, is I did join Crazy Annie's 12 Days of Christmas Stocking Ornament Sale. And she's released a picture of the first one. And I have for a long time looked for a 12 Days of Christmas stitching. And I know there's several out there. And I really love this stuff that the charts that Liz Matthews, I think, puts it out. But those are bigger than I would like. I really love them, but they're bigger than I am looking for. I was looking for ornament size ones. And I know there's other ones out there, but none that have really floated my boat, so to speak. So when I saw, when Melissa sent me the link to the Sal, and I saw the first chart, I was in love because I love the look of it, and I'm hoping and assuming that the other 11 will look very similar. So they're really cute. The first one, Partridge in a Pear Tree, obviously, and it's in a stocking, and it's done on dark fabric, and it's gorgeous. So I'm participating in that. So I don't know that I'll keep up with them as they come. That would be the goal. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's my only other really big plan for 2022 stitching, other than to see what else comes along. I would like to get some ornaments done. I only have a couple of stitched ornaments on my tree, and I'd like to add more. There's a lot of homemade things on my tree. I don't know. That bell right there. I have several of those. Those are crocheted bells that my mom has made, and there's multiple of them on the tree in different colors. And then these balls right here, those are just glass balls. There's more right up there. You can see several of them. There's a red one right here. Those are just glass ornament balls that my mom has crocheted the little teeny tiny thread and crocheted the designs around them. So those are really pretty. So there's quite a lot of homemade on my tree actually, but not a lot of cross stitching on the tree. So I want to add more cross stitching to my tree next year. Anyway, so Christmas is coming down tomorrow or Sunday, before I go to work back to work on next week for sure. But Christmas is coming down, which is sad, but I'm going to leave my Stoneman stuff up. I've decided, at least through January. Yeah, at least still through January. So anyway, that's about all. I have gone through everything. The only thing in question is New Year, New Start. Am I going to go with Live? What Remains is Love, or if I'm going to pick something else. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow, I guess. So other than that, I think I'm going to get back into a regular posting, video posting rhythm, probably every 2 to 3 weeks, which is pretty much what I was doing before. It'll just depend on how much stitching I do, but with my goals. I should be stitching quite a bit. So every 2 to 3 weeks probably. And my videos, as you all know, stay pretty short. I'm at 35 plus minutes right now. That's my longest video probably in a while. So anyway, so with that, I'll let you go. I hope everyone has or had a happy new year, and we'll see you next time. Bye.